Hello and welcome to Rotorn Gondola in Lenzerheide, Switzerland. I attempted to do a lift-assisted round trip linking Lenzerheide, Arosa and Chur in epic one-day adventure. These three regions together are known as Bike Kingdom. Plan was to start with more challenging trails and chill at the end on blue flow trails. You can start this ride in any of three regions. First trail of the day, Dark Side of the Moon. Trademark Lenzerheide trail, very well built biking trail, which is pretty flowy for a high alpine technical trail, and it's not too steep. That makes it perfect warm-up for this adventure. This is filmed in autumn, so it's pretty cold and windy in such a high altitude at around 2,800 meters. Scenery is just stunning up here. If you are interested only in specific trails, check out links in the description of this video. At the end of this trail, altitude is around 2,600 meters. Just before entering gallery, you can see what's coming next. Another alpine trail, but a little bit more challenging. Dropping into Alplisee trail. This challenging technical trail is extremely long. You can easily fit 2 full bike park descents in this single ride. Alplisee trail offers everything you can want from alpine trail. Zero hikers, technical sections that sometimes are quite exposed, fast and flowy sections, as well as tight, technical and steep switchbacks to spice things up. There are plenty of amazing spots to catch a breath and enjoy the scenery along the way. Some of these switchbacks are above my skill level, but that's okay. Maybe a day will come when I will finish this trail without putting a foot down. Unfortunately, there are some uphill sections as well, but luckily they are not technical at all. This trail is steepest and gnarliest towards the end, where avoiding over the bars action would be the most preferable option. Unfortunately, I failed to record this part, so this footage is from previous ride. The lowest point of Alplisee trail is around 1,800 meters, where it flows directly into bottom of Hornli trail, the most generic blue flow trail you can imagine. From this point on, only downhill to Arosa is left. This bike park trail turns into gravel road, which turns to paved road, which leads to the lake in the city center, where I will be taking Weisshorn gondola to the top of Weisshorn. This ride is brought to you by Slightly Wounded Propane Spindrift, which I bought earlier this year. More about technical nuances I encountered while owning this bike and my brutally honest opinion in the upcoming video, so stay tuned for that. Weisshorn Trail starts at around 2,600 meters, with a wide and loose gravel road, which quickly turns into nicely shaped single track. This trail is quite rocky, but for the most part can be ridden flat out since there are not many tight turns or hikers. After riding Alplisee trail, this feels nice and mellow. Weisshorn trail descends roughly 500 meters. I feel spoiled with the gorgeous views here, but same can be said about any other high alpine trail. Ochsenalp trail is natural and shared with hikers. It starts at around 2100 meters of elevation and features multiple line choices. So always look ahead, stand tall on the bike and choose your path wisely. There are some short climbing sections. Other than that, it's pretty flat since trail descends only around 200 meters. However, there are several wooden bridges later on to make it more interesting. Finally, I end up on a gravel road which leads straight to the mountain hut. Coming up next, extra chill gravel road, which is marked as a blue trail for some reason. It's pretty busy with bikers and hikers traveling both ways. After 3.5 kilometers of gravel riding, we will be back on the fun stuff. This leads to beginning of the next trail at elevation of 1700 meters. Lose trail starts nice and mellow, lets you warm up. This technical trail takes you through rough forest paths with a lot of roots. Riding this in wet would be extremely gnarly. Luckily, the weather is perfect, roots are bone dry, and traction is phenomenal. The trail descends almost 400 meters and has two distinctive parts. First part is now before your eyes. Second part comes next after a very short gravel road ride.
Whoa! No way.
After a short ride on gravel road, trail changes drastically. It's a lot wider and rockier. And it's kind of not a single track anymore. Coil shock smooths out all the bumps very well, so I have confidence to go faster. But not too fast, since I'm riding this trail for the first time. Occasionally, drainage channels cross the trail, so I have to be mindful of that. This section goes alongside the river, and there's a very nice camping spot at the end. this point, the most exciting part is over. Now time for some road cycling. Luckily, road to Chur leads mostly downhill with several opportunities to take a detour via short trails, and there are some gorgeous little towns on the way. Detour number 1, Praden. For the most part, it's a climbing trail that goes parallel to the road and descends only towards the end. Either I was lost or there's a fence in the middle of the trail. Crazy. Detour number 2 is back to town trail, but unfortunately on this day it was closed. Actually, it's closed oftentimes for one reason or the other. Detour number 3, Zig Zag Trail, lives up to its name with a lot of tight and technical switchbacks. Trail starts at altitude of 750 meters and takes you down almost 200 meters right to Chur. I was not having a great time on these switchbacks. Moments like these motivate me to work more on trials, skills and endo turns. Apart from tight switchbacks, this trail has not much to offer. The right trail leads to the river and more steep and tight switchbacks. Since I already had my fair share of exactly that, decided to skip the last part and go straight to Chur gondola station. Chur is the lowest point of this trip and the home of one of the most gnarly bike parks in Switzerland, Alpen Bike Park. After 2 gondola rides, I find myself on the Blue Trail. This trail is the alternative to the red trail, which was closed and would have saved me a good amount of vertical meters. So now I'm doing by far the biggest continuous climb on this trip, which is just over 300 meters. After reaching the highest point of this trail, it took me 2 minutes to descend, and you are seeing on good footage. Unfortunately, this trail ends way above Kuawalden, and the rest of the way is gravel road with a short section of a single track. At this point, I already know that I am behind the schedule, and it's impossible to catch the last gondola in Kuawalden. The plan was to descend another 400 meters via a blue trail from Albstedt to Lenzerheide. Instead, I will be taking a bus ride back to Rotorn gondola station. Ideally, you would like to start these long rides as early as possible to counter all the possible technical issues and longer than expected gondola waiting times. I learned one thing from this ride. Spindrift is an excellent gravel bike. Until next time.